Hi there, this is Chris Scullion from Tired Old Hack with another commentary video for another tape for my VHS preservation project. This is a tape that was made for Sony in 1997 as a kind of promotional tape for the PlayStation. Now, I've previously uploaded a tape similar to this a month or so ago called Blowing Away, and at the time when I recorded it, I knew who'd made it. There's a company called Maverick Media who are based in London, but kind of didn't know much beyond the fact that it was a promotional video that Sony had commissioned and Sony had then released and kind of made available with magazines and stuff like that. And this is the follow-up to Blown Away, which came out the following year. To the best of my knowledge, it doesn't have a name. But the interesting thing is, after posting the previous video, I got contacted by a chap called Jeff, who was one of the main guys behind Maverick Media, still as a kind of top video editor, producer, marketer, I should say. And he asked me to give him a call to kind of discuss the story behind it. So I now have a lot more information about the details of the previous Blown Away video and this video, which in reality is actually the third video that Maverick made for Sony, Blown Away being the second. There was actually one released the year before as well. The general story behind these videos is that many kind of older people my age will remember that when Sony first started to market the PlayStation in the UK, it was aiming for a slightly older audience and kind of younger gamers, which is what 8-bit and 16-bit systems were kind of aimed at, younger kids and kind of teenagers, but young teenagers, like the very oldest 14, 15-year-olds. Whereas Sony with the PlayStation decided, no, we're going to aim this at older people, because presumably their logic was that a lot of the gamers who were younger playing the Nintendo and Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive will have aged and are now going to nightclubs and stuff, but we can still get them, because if they were interested in games before, we can get them interested in games again. We just need to show them that gaming has grown as they've grown. So a lot of Sony's UK marketing push was nightclubs, where kind of obviously older teenagers and people in their early 20s were going, spending their time. So the Ministry of Sound nightclubs in London had PlayStation booths set up for clubbers to play PlayStation games, the kind of early games. Stuff like Wipeout had music by the Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and all that, kind of trying to get into that club scene, kind of make it appeal to people who were into that sort of thing. Now these videos, Blown Away, this one, and the first video that came before them, were commissioned by Sony for Maverick Media to do, and they were actually originally designed for VJs, like video DJs in nightclubs, to play in the background while they played music. So this was supposed to be on big video walls behind DJs to kind of appeal to clubbers, and let's just say clubbers who may not have necessarily been in the right state of mind, or may have been in an enhanced state of mind to be able to appreciate these visuals. And that's why there's a lot of kind of more psychedelic bits and loads of video effects and weird kind of imagery blended in as well, which seemingly makes no sense in the PlayStation scheme of things, but it wasn't kind of supposed to be. It was supposed to appeal to clubbers who were in a certain state of inebriation or something else. So that was like stuff like this. So that was the kind of the actual point. This video was, along with Blown Away and the one before it, were actually originally for VJs at nightclubs to have in the background while they played their mixes, so that clubbers could see it and think, oh, that stuff looks quite cool, I wonder what it is, find out it's PlayStation, okay, I'm going to get a PlayStation. There was other kind of marketing campaigns. Jeff was telling me that the image that was on the previous tape, I'll put a link to the previous tape in the description below, so you can watch it if you haven't watched this yet, if you haven't watched that one yet. That image, there's an image of a guy holding out a PlayStation controller, and he said it was based on an article in Face magazine a while back about drug culture, and there was an image that he saw of a guy with a hood, like a kind of hooded guy, handing out drugs, and the photo was with his hand out holding some sort of drug. I'm not sure which one it was, but so that was the inspiration for the image in the previous tape. Was, let's say, they got this kind of hooded character holding a PlayStation controller and holding it out as if to say, almost like to draw the comparison, as if to say, yeah, this is what's going to get you addicted next. Although not in the dark undertones that would suggest, but just in the kind of, this is your gateway to what could be the next thing you kind of get obsessed with. So yeah, and that image was kind of printed out on millions of kind of cardboard, let's say cardboard sheets that were perforated for. Well, you can figure it out if you're into that sort of thing, but yeah, it's safe to say the marketing was quite clever. They knew exactly who was taking these cardboard sheets and who was going to be tearing the perforations and who was going to be using them to for various needs. So yeah, so that's essentially what you're looking at. Then you're looking at the third in the series of Maverick videos, kind of nightclub DJ videos for the PlayStation. Obviously complete with loads of visualizations. This is from actually the previous Blown Away video. They've taken some old videos from that as well, this one. And yeah, and like the previous one, it intercuts that footage with clips from games, and then at the end it takes all the games one by one. This one came out, I don't know, roughly 6 to 12 months after the previous one, so some of the games are the same, but a lot of them are kind of updated to reflect the newer games that were just coming out. So at the end you'll get another kind of full video showing, like a game by game roundup, showing everything that was shown and what it's called and stuff like that, so anyone curious about a specific game can see what it was. I believe that's coming up just now. Yeah, because the last couple of minutes, because there's so many games in that thing, I'll just kind of, there it goes, it's all the kind of games showing one at a time. Every time I see Ridge Racer or Ridge Racer or any of those games in that series, I just get sad because I'd love to see another Ridge Racer again. That's one of my favourite series of all time, and it's just kind of dead. Or I keep bringing it back with really terrible spin-offs. Ridge Racer and Sony have like a long history. Like Ridge Racer has always, well, I say always, up until PS3, Ridge Racer was the game. PS Vita even, Ridge Racer was the game that would be used to show off the early abilities of the system. So the first PlayStation launched with Ridge Racer on day one, and that was kind of one of the big selling points, is look how great we can do arcade style graphics. PS2 launched with a Ridge Racer game, the PS3 launched with a Ridge Racer game, PSP and PS Vita both launched with Ridge Racer games. I should tell a lie, PSP's Ridge Racer might have come a wee bit later, but certainly the Vita launched with it. So yeah, it was always the kind of Ridge Racer was the benchmark essentially. There's Gran Turismo, just called GT at the time. And yeah, it's a shame that the PlayStation 4 didn't launch with a Ridge Racer game. We're now kind of waiting for another Ridge Racer, and well, I am at least. It's disappointing. Sorry, that was my Ridge Racer rant. There we go. That was the third of 3 PlayStation videos by Maverick Media. Now if you're curious about the first one and you didn't see it, when this finishes I'll put up a little link to it. If you're watching this on a PC, just now I'll put up the video link, so you can click that and you can go back and see the video that came out before this. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Please do the usual YouTube like and subscribing thing, and there'll be plenty more of these videos tapes to come. I just got a shipment of 20 Spanish ones, so I hope you know Spanish, because I don't. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.